Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Monday, June 28, at 8:25 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 531 headlines from 106 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. Dozens of people with COVID-19 were likely on Mount Everest this climbing season. NYPD, men shot in Times Square. A day after Derek Chauvin's sentencing, lawmakers in Minnesota reached an agreement on policing measures and will create a warning system to keep bad cops off the street. The tech helping parents look after their babies. U.S. carried out airstrikes in Iraq and Syria on facilities used by Iran-backed militia groups. Wuhan lab leak theory fuels Trump comeback rally. Jack Dorsey, unpicking Twitter boss's passion for Nigeria. Why the search and rescue mission following the Surfside condo collapse is unique. A loving couple, the mother of a miracle, a baseball ad, all victims of Surfside condo collapse. Mother was keeping her daughter company in the Champlain Towers. They're both missing. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Sources: Portland Trail Blazers reach agreement on 5-year deal to hire Chauncey Billups as coach, ESPN. Former Skid Row singer Johnny Solinger dies, CNN. Cardi B reveals baby bump during BET Awards performance, Fox News. U.S. military airstrikes target militias backed by Iran in Syria, Iraq, USA Today. Possible failure point emerges in Miami building collapse, The New York Times. Asian shares start on cautious note amid rise in COVID-19 cases by Reuters, Investing.com. What driver said after Pocono race 2, NASCAR on NBC Sports. Trump Organization lawyers to meet Monday with Manhattan to prosecutors, CNN. French far-right loses key regional elections. The Hill. Chalk guarantees Bucks Game 3 win versus Hawks, inside the NBA 2021 NBA playoffs, House of Highlights. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Black activist athlete Gwen Berry turns back on flag during anthem at Olympic trials. The Trump Organization has one more day to convince prosecutors against charges. Cardi B reveals pregnancy during biggest performance at 2021 BET Awards. Mitt Romney compares Trump's stolen election bluster to WWE. BET Awards 2021 winners, the complete list. Chris Wallace accuses GOP of defunding police in Tessie Fox interview. Biden orders airstrikes against Iran-backed militias in Iraq, Syria, Pentagon says. BET Awards 2021 red carpet, see all the best looks from culture's biggest night. Man hospitalized after great white shark bite at California beach. French far-right party loses in country's regional elections. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Dive team shares tips about water safety. Manufacturer steps up to provide PPE. Two Mid-Michigan friends start their own business. Pet goats get attacked by dogs. 7-year-old girl drowns in river. Mom pushes for justice after child hit at daycare. Man shot through window while in living room. 4 Nebraskans turn heads W3-on-3 basketball. Children's messages of hope to adorn Reconciliation Center fence. DJ opens fire inside nightclub, injuring 3. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. U.S. carries out airstrikes in Iraq and Syria. critical race theory and how American history is taught. Reliving a year of death, as havoc reigned in the White House. Gunfire in Times Square on a weekend afternoon leaves a man wounded. Semicolon. Pacific Northwest bakes in record-setting heat wave. An accusation blew up a campaign. The media didn't know what to do. Possible failure point emerges in Miami building collapse. Fatal shooting of 2 black people near Boston is investigated as a hate crime. Get vaccinated. Worry less about COVID variants. The following headlines are from the 6th most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Deadly shooting in Massachusetts cited as possible hate crime. Mark Levin warns Marxism is here now and in your face. Gowdy preaches importance of public safety, politics of little significance if you're dead. Cardi B reveals baby bump during BET Awards performance. Old-timers drugstores hope for patients, worry for doctors. Professor praises Stalin as one of the great leaders of the 20th century. UFO experts on intelligence report, whatever this is, it is more complex than we can possibly imagine. NASCAR, Kyle Busch wins Pocono Cup Series race with busted clutch. Minnesota lawmakers reach deal on policing measures. Rep. John Katko, what's the use of having gun laws if you defund the police? You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Monday, June 28th. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Rylan Clark Neal separates from husband Ann after 6 years of marriage. People arrested as cops clash with Pride Party goers in Washington Square Park. Grandson receives eerie calls from landline of elderly couple missing in Miami condo collapse. Robert Bugland's probation system will work better for victims. The one lesson I've learned from life, Juliet on American League Division Series and says you can walk away your worries. Ewan McGregor, 50, welcomes secret baby boy with girlfriend Mary Elizabeth Winstead, 36. Angela Merkel bids to ban British tourists from the EU. MI5 will discuss leaked Matt Hancock kiss footage with Cabinet Office. What you can and cannot do at this year's Wimbledon tournament. Dominic Lawson, Angela Merkel has suffered 3 striking defeats. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is the Washington Post World News Feed. New Cuba policy on hold while Biden deals with bigger problems. Hurricane Enrique sweeping close to Mexico's southwest coast. 8 more arrests in Mexico border city attacks that killed 19. A nursing student came to the U.S. to afford her thesis fee. She stayed at Champlain Towers. British Columbia town sets new high temperature for Canada. 20 people found dead on boat drifting in Turks and Caicos. Now booming on Moscow's black market, fake vaccine certificates. UN says Hamas-run Gaza will again receive Qatar-funded fuel. Hardening stances by Iran and U.S. complicate negotiations to revive nuclear deal. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Young, hot and bothered, going through menopause in my 30s podcast. U.S. strikes hit Iran-backed militia facilities in Iraq and Syria. Hong Kong police arrest senior Apple Daily journalist at airport. New York prosecutors set deadline for Trump on legal action, report. Luxembourg PM tests positive for COVID, as it happened. Miami condo collapse, death toll rises to 9 as crews search pile for survivors. Nelly Korda wins Women's PGA Championship 2021, final round, as it happened. Massachusetts gunman who killed 2 left white supremacist rhetoric. Pacific Northwest heat wave continues with Idaho and Montana in line of fire. Tornado strike sinks Portugal and puts Belgium in quarterfinals. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. 2 adults, 1 child killed after train hits vehicle in Chicago. 8 more arrests in Mexico border city attacks that killed 19. Case files on 1964 civil rights worker killings made public. Surfside building collapse latest, city releases building official emails. Retired black officer, black Air Force veteran killed in possible hate crime, French far-right beaten in regional elections. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Outbreaks emerge across Australia in new phase of pandemic. U.S. airstrikes in Iraq and Syria target Iran-backed militia. Black rainstorm warning suspends Hong Kong trading. Papua sacred forest for women only. Climate change, why action still ignites debate in Australia. France elections, far-right national rally loses key battleground states. U.S. and Canada heatwave, Pacific Northwest sees record temperatures. Palestinian protests, crowds clash with police after death of activist. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Today in history for June 28. Florida building collapse, death toll climbed to 9 as searchers hope to find survivors, families of missing taken to condo site. We're going to have to get used to this, Pacific Northwest scorched and dangerous, record-breaking heat wave. Before and after look at Champlain Towers South, the Florida building that partially collapsed. You weep and then you try to determine how to help. Families, worshippers cling to hope after Florida condo building collapse. AP Top Stories June 27 p. What we know about those missing in the Miami condo building collapse. Researchers find skeletal remains of children, men with gunshot wounds at unmarked graves near Tulsa race massacre site. Condo collapse toll rises to 9, search continues. Memorial honors those unaccounted for following building collapse in Surfside, Florida. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. 3 people arrested in Long Beach shooting that wounded 3, including teenage boy. LA region's inland heat to continue through Monday, followed by potential thunderstorms. Highly contagious Delta coronavirus variant spreading fast in California. The murder of a small-town thief, claims of a vast conspiracy, the trials of Frank Carson. The trials of Frank Carson, how this series was reported. A rebel lawyer accused California cops of corruption, then they accused him of murder. Column, his son was murdered in South LA. He still says cops aren't the answer to crime. 3 people wounded in drive-by shooting outside the Pike outlets in downtown Long Beach. Great white shark bites man off California coast, swimmer in serious condition. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Monday, June 28, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. BC heat wave shatters Canadian record for highest temperature ever recorded. WHO urges fully vaccinated people to continue to wear masks as Delta COVID variant spreads. Toronto set single-day North American record with 25,000 doses administered. Toronto sets North American record for most COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in a day at clinic. Biden orders airstrikes on Iran-backed militias near Iraq-Syria border in response to UAV attacks. A militant group called Niger Delta Avengers that roughly halved Nigeria's oil production in 2016 has threatened to resume attacks amid disagreements over the share of oil wealth local communities should get. Toronto sets 2 new single-day COVID-19 vaccination records at Scotiabank Arena Clinic. Germany could stop gas flowing through the almost complete Nord Stream 2 pipeline from Russia if Moscow breaks the terms of the arrangement or uses it to put pressure on Ukraine, Conservative Chancellor candidate Armin Laschet said on Saturday. BC heat wave shatters temperature records across the province. Lytton, BC, broke Canadian record Sunday for highest temperature ever recorded. U.S. conducts defensive precision airstrikes targeting Iranian-backed groups along the Syrian-Iraqi border. India shifts 50,000 troops to China border in historic move. France elections, Marine Le Pen and Emmanuel Macron suffer humiliating results in regional vote. France's far-right have endured another miserable night in the country's regional elections, with Marine Le Pen's national rally failing to win any of the dozen mainland areas where it stood. Delta variant spreading rapidly from Lisbon to rest of Portugal. Saudi Arabia releases 2 prominent women's rights activists, most of those imprisoned, estimated to be in the dozens, campaigned for the right to drive and an end to the kingdom's male guardianship system, which requires women to obtain the consent of a male relative for major decisions. The next headlines are from Forbes. Inflation rate spikes as retail workers quit and Chairman Powell deflects. Tycoon Tony Tan actions Jollibee earmarks $251 million to accelerate expansion plans as earnings recover. A company that uses AI to fight malaria just won the IBM Watson AIX Prize competition. Metallica's Black Album reissue is much more than a simple re-release. Here comes a new wave of devastating Trump books written by journalists. Twice ties NCT 127 and Blackpink for the 4th most Billboard 200 albums among Korean acts. Latino-owned Fuse Media launches new streaming service Fuse Plus aimed at empowering multicultural millennials. Portland and Seattle break records for hottest days ever as heat wave scorches the Northwest. Happy Places, how to create workplaces for performance, engagement and happiness. Pandemic's busiest airport travel weekend met with chaos and extremely high volume amid worker shortages and flight cuts. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,714,704,384 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Unforgivable takes home top prize of Palm Springs Short Fest. China box office, propaganda flick 1921 hits #1 off previews. Lil Nas X ends Bet Awards performance with steamy soul kiss. Cardi B reveals pregnancy during Bet Awards performance with Megas. Bet Awards 2021, the complete winners list, updating live. Bet launches new logo, branding effort in time for Bet Awards. Korea box office weekend reaches yearly high led by local thriller Hard Hit. The Sparks Brothers raises the question, are we allowed not to like Sparks? Column. F9 feat stars Vin Diesel, Charlize Theron react to record-breaking box office debut, cinema is back exclusive. Max Rosenthal, who became a character in son Phil Rosenthal's TV projects, dies at 95. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. 4 more victims identified in Florida condo collapse. What we know about the victims of the Champlain Towers collapse. The death toll from the Surfside building collapse now stands at 9. Johnson County, Iowa, renames itself after a different Johnson. Surfside official told residents their building was safe, despite engineers' warning. A hot air balloon crashed on a New Mexico street after hitting power line, killing 5. Mike Gravel, former Alaska senator and anti-war advocate, dies at age 91. How 165 words could make mass environmental destruction an international crime. Portland congregation races to get members vaccinated before Oregon reopens. Britney Spears' forced contraception revelation sheds light on reproductive justice in the U.S. The following headlines are from the week. Cops I, creator John Langley dies while in Mexico for off-road race. U.S. airstrikes target Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria. Report, Trump Organization lawyers have until Monday to persuade prosecutors not to file charges. Mike Gravel, former Alaska senator and dark horse presidential candidate, has died at 91. GOP senators say bipartisan infrastructure deal is back on track after Biden's clarification. Manchin backs second bill. UK Health Secretary resigns over photos, video of him kissing an A during lockdown. Brutal heat wave across the Pacific Northwest shatters records. Biden clarifies that he would sign a bipartisan infrastructure bill, even without Democrat-only tandem bill. Death toll rises to 9 in Miami area condo collapse. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Most exoplanets won't receive enough radiation to support an Earth-like biosphere. Light Sail 2 has now been in space for 2 years, and should last even longer before re-entering the atmosphere. Gravitational wave detector could sense merging primordial black holes with the mass of a planet, millions of light years away. These are the news headlines for today, Monday, June 28. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. U.S. intelligence report, 140 unexplained UFOs, no aliens. Supermassive black holes help with star birth. The next news is from Politico. Secret British military documents found at bus stop. George Floyd's murder transformed America. European Union startup fund overwhelmed by high demand. Setback for far-right leader in French local elections. U.S. airstrikes target Iran-backed militias in Syria, Iraq. It is not over, New York's mayoral frontrunner forced into waiting game. Families of the missing visit site of Florida condo collapse. Arkansas governor trying to reverse his state's trends on vaccination. Miami-Dade mayor, we dearly hope collapse was an anomaly. Case files on 1964 civil rights worker killings made public. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. NSW records 18 new local COVID-19 cases as Australia faces prospect of national outbreak. Watch Live, WA Premier to hold COVID-19 update. Much stricter enforcement, hundreds of police deployed to NSW Victorian border. Australia News Live, NSW records 18 new local COVID-19 cases, masks mandatory in Queensland, Daniel Andrews returns as Victorian Premier. Huge 3D screens replace opera sets at Verona Amphitheatre. Suburban dads wild year with the Sex Pistols. Former Defence Minister Brendan Nelson backs revered Ben Roberts-Smith. A Royal Fascination, how England's Queens inspired an immersive play. Out of lockdown, young actors make a musical on spec. Best of Cartoons, June 28, 2021. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. The Moneyest, I bought a store for $80K. It quadrupled in value. My friend gave $7K for the purchase and $6.7K for repairs. Does he get back 4 times both investments? The Moneyest, Jamie Dimon insists his workers return to the office. Here's why that's a bit rich. The Moneyest, I co-signed a personal loan for my daughter. The bank withdrew the money from my father's account instead. How could this happen? FAA notes safety concerns over new Boeing 777X, reports. The Wall Street Journal, crypto exchange Binance ordered to cease activity in UK. Newswatch, Wall Street Bets is dying, long live the Wall Street Bets movement. TaxWatch, Peter Thiel turned his Roth IRA into a pot of gold. You can too, but tread carefully. TaxWatch, IRS audits fail again in 2020, but there's one big exception. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Protecting AI and ML IP is crucial to remaining competitive in booming domain tech, see tech. The next headlines are from Quartz. Americans aren't just quitting, they are retiring at record rates, too. The tech that wants to help you sleep. Gabon's rainforest payments are a creative new model for conservation. African animations, Ruibus Riche, continental super apps. Inside Compass Lexicon, one of the top antitrust consulting firms. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. Funniest most insightful comments of the week at Tech Dirt. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Sharon Stone. Charlie D'Amelio. Chad Michael Murray. Josh Naylor. Brazil vs Ecuador. Cristiano Ronaldo. Harris English. Serena Williams. Styrian Grand Prix. Marjorie Taylor Greene. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Singapore doctors called to halt COVID vaccination of teens as unexplained death of 13-year-old boy probed in U.S. Pentagon announces carrying out strikes on Iraq-Syria border at Biden's direction. Ronaldo blasted for tossing Portugal captain's armband to turf following Belgium Euro 2020 defeat. The Devils Belgium dump Ronaldo in Portugal out of Euro 2020 after Torgan Nazar stunner, but lose the Bruin to injury. A true American hero, tributes paid as Senator, presidential candidate and anti-war activist Mike Gravel dies at 91. Eco-study warns Israel's open spaces will shrink as its population grows, and the settlement question is the elephant in the room. Ronaldo trolled as woeful free kick record continues versus Belgium while stunning partner Georgina watches on at Euro 2020. Real recognizes real. UFC superstar Jon Jones calls Russian icon Fedor Emelianenko to congratulate him on MMA return. Video. Iran says it will never give nuclear site images to UN watchdog as monitoring deal expires. Shit got real. Netherlands stunned by ruthless Czech Republic after delayed moment of madness in Euro 2020 last 16 clash. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Top Chinese nuclear expert jumps to his death after power plant mishap. America is not America any longer, Giuliani rages after law license suspension. Facebook could be held liable for sex trafficking on its site, Texas court finds. Nike is a brand that is of China and for China, says company's CEO. How has trader positioning changed since the FOMC meeting? Labor shortages and inflation plague California businesses. What if we are wrong? Goldman reruns market forecasts assuming its key assumptions are all wrong. FDA adds warning about heart inflammation to COVID-19 RNA vaccines. Biden orders series of airstrikes along Syria-Iraq border. Iran refuses to grant IAEA access to nuclear facilities, agreement has expired. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Myanmar military targets lawyers defending political prisoners. U.S. carries out air raids on Iran-backed militias in Syria, Iraq. Euro 2020, hazard fires Belgium past Portugal and into last 8. South Africa toughens restrictions to combat Delta variant. French far-right beaten in gay regional elections, exit polls. Rival Palestinian groups clash at protest over activist's death. Russia battles COVID surge as Asia-Pacific tightens restrictions. How will the U.S. protect its collaborators in Afghanistan? Euro 2020, Czech stun Netherlands to seal quarter-final spot. Colombia, 9 dead in separate attacks amid escalating violence. The next headlines are from Breitbart. NFL looking for media investors to partner in NFL network. Israel's apology tour, Foreign Minister tells Blinken mistakes were made by Netanyahu in U.S.-Israel relationship. Billy Porter, Black Christians oppress LGBTQ like white slavers, Christianity is the colonizer's religion. Kevin McCarthy releases House GOP framework for fighting big tech censorship. Anonymous donor to pay repair bill after thieves cut church's power, God meant it for good. Police officer saves 6-week-old baby from choking to death, true hero. Dallas create abortion book for kids to normalize it as another outcome of pregnancy. Daytime Emmy Awards mix up 2 black actresses during in memoriam tribute. Car burglaries rise 753% in San Francisco as city reopens. CNN's Stelter, FNC's Hannity's dark, dire language is fundamentally authoritarian. The next headlines are from Odd, Strange and Bizarre Things. Elvish more popular than Irish, online learning leads to fictional language rise. The weirdest things you can do this summer. Why cybersecurity is important for all businesses. Understanding candles and their secret meanings. 5 things nobody tells you about growing up. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. The hero who jumped into the bay to save a toddler is honored to accept ride with the Thunderbirds. Watch. A trail angel sprinkles good eat along Appalachian Trail for unsuspecting hikers. This week's inspiring horoscopes from Rob Bresney's Free Will Astrology. Inside the eye of robins, researchers find magnetic field detecting protein that may be long-sought migration sensor. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Monday, June 28th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Backlash over We Rub You Korean marinade. Fan causes massive Tour de France crash with cardboard sign. $50 billion deposited to bank account of shocked Louisiana family. I've never seen that many zeros. Tour de France, police seek spectator after crash. Classified Ministry of Defense documents found at bus stop. Rattlesnakes everywhere, the odd consequences of California's drought. Missing grandparents' landline calling from Champlain Tower South condo, family says. 14 years after a sexual assault in Tampa, a man has been charged with rape because he entered his own DNA into a genealogy database. Sandwich police say seafood company lost approximately $10,000 worth of lobster after a local man turned off the compressor and oxygen supply to their tank of live seafood. Single bee is making an immortal clone army thanks to a genetic fluke. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Fido D11 review, this folding e-bike has good looks, low weight, and solid range. How a 70s school teacher invented C, one of the most influential coding languages. This $50 training will help you pass top CompTIA certification exams on your first try. Want to code and build robots and other cool gadgets? This Raspberry training can help. 5 ways to get the best returns from smart infrastructure. Venus' massively cracked surface suggests it experiences quakes, and could be active. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Monday, June 28th from over 100 sources, to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Here's why James Huntsman may have filed his LDS tithing lawsuit in California. Utah COVID-19 cases and deaths see summer spike. Early Utah wildfires point toward a season for the record books. Extricating pilot from plane crash in North Logan took 6 hours, official says. Fireworks stands divided on if bans will slow sales. Here's why rent in Utah County has surged ahead of Salt Lake County. 3 points, missed penalty for RSL, evaluating how cheap Houston's goal was, and Michael Chang shines. Crews fighting Utah fires get some help from cooler temps, more moisture in the air. Mitt Romney on whether he trusts Biden, Trump's big lie and UFOs. Teen's death highlights free roaming dogs on Navajo Nation land. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. Linux 5.13 kernel released, includes Apple M1 support, Clang CFI, and Landlock's Linux security module. Virgin Galactic okayed for space launches, will Richard Branson beat Jeff Bezos? China releases video and audio footage from its rover on Mars. Do security robots reduce crime? 41% of drivers uncomfortable about someday sharing the road with self-driving cars. No evidence chance meetings at the office boost innovation. Texas court rules teens can't sue Facebook for its alleged role in their sex trafficking. Regulators crack down on crypto exchange Binance in UK, Japan, Germany, and Ontario, Canada. Western Digital blames remotely installer Trojans for wiping MyBook storage devices. Isotopes in stalactites may link intensifying thunderstorms to global climate variability. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. You paid for it, why you should care if jail inmates are vaccinated. Pedestrian struck by semi-truck south of downtown St. Louis. U.S. airstrikes target Iran-backed militias in Syria, Iraq. North Carolina murder suspect apprehended in Jefferson County. Kranick goes 5 perfect innings in MLB debut as Pirates top cards. Triple shooting near Bellefontaine Cemetery leaves 1 dead. Missouri's COVID-positive test rate jumps more than 3% since start of June. Black bear sighting confirmed in Chesterfield. Ferguson police investigating Sunday morning homicide. Voluntary boil advisory issued for part of Jefferson County, NO. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Hive music returns to Spreckles Organ Pavilion. Unprecedented, Northwest heat wave builds, records fall. Families of the missing visit site of Florida condo collapse. San Diego firefighters put out fire in Carmel Valley. Texas counties warned against participating in governor's border actions. Where's the largest gaming community in U.S.? Suspect arrested on suspicion of attempted murder of Oceanside officer. Tatis delivers go-ahead hit, Padres beat the Diamondbacks 5-4. Inside California politics, Rep. Maxine Waters talks about what's needed in the infrastructure bill. Secret whisper listings on the rise in booming U.S. housing market. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. Arctic GmbH completes deliveries of GTK Boxer vehicles to Bundeswehr. Russian long-suffering aircraft carriers return to fleet delayed by repair issue. British Army selects Israel's Trophy active protection system for its new tanks. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Monday, June 28, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. 3-year-old Fresno boy killed after gun went off in home. Photo of exhausted firefighter battling blaze near Big Sur goes viral. Historic drought in dry U.S. West raises July 4th fireworks fears. Cardi B announces she's pregnant with baby number 2. Cops creator John Langley dies during road race in Mexico. Where's the largest gaming community in U.S.? 21-year-old bystander shot in the back in Times Square. Rohnert Park officials use app to track down illegal fireworks. Postcard-worthy scenery, planning your Mendocino County road trip. Crone 4's Marty Gonzalez signs off after 44 years in television. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Cubs start in LA with no-hitter, end with big whiff. 2 adults, 1 child killed when train hits vehicle in Chicago. Indian police, bomb-laden drones struck airbase in Kashmir. Remembering the dead and missing in Florida condo collapse. Parks, Tiago score, NYC rallies to beat DC United 2-1. Kershaw's 13 Ks, McKinstry slam lifts Dodgers past Cubs. Parade celebrates LGBTQ plus pride in Wheaton, Glen Ellen. Biden orders airstrikes on Iran-backed militias in Syria, Iraq. 1 dead in Lyle workplace accident. Sox split Sunday's games, Mariners reliever ejected under foreign substance protocols. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green alert for Tropical Cyclone Enrique 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Green alert for Tropical Cyclone Champy 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Drought is ongoing in United States. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Chile. Drought is ongoing in Afghanistan, Iran, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Congo, DRC. Drought is ongoing in Azerbaijan, Iraq, Iran, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Canada, United States. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Monday, June 28th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. 3 shot at flea market on Airline Drive, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says. MD Anderson Cancer Center loosens adult visitor policy. Serena Williams says she will not play at the Tokyo Olympics. Driver involved in deadly crash on Beaumont HWI faces DWI charge, deputies say. Activist organizes one of Chicago's largest peaceful protests against police brutality. Katy area hospitals and educators assess nurse shortage. 71-year-old woman robbed on South Loop by fake Good Samaritan. Family finds 92-year-old matriarch's mementos in rubble of Florida condo collapse. 2 drown in Bolivar Peninsula, man tried to save stepson from current. HPD searching for driver who fled after hitting girl outside gender reveal party in Southeast Houston. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Taiwan shines in LGBTQ plus tourists travel safety in Asia and beyond. Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion Jasmine Sullivan win big at bet. Leading off, Santiago faces MLB sticky ban, Naylor injured. Fraser Price adds 200 title at Jamaica's Olympic qualifier. English wins Travelers, beating Hickok in 8th hole playoff. Catalans jeer Spanish king amid efforts to ease tensions. Gray hits winning jumper as Aces beat Storm 95-92 in OT. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Photos, thousands take over Fifth Avenue for joyous Dyke March. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. The $1 Trillion Climate Finance Challenge and Opportunity. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. J&J to pay $263 million in New York opioid settlements, avoids trial. The con job of the century? How an obscure app turned millions into unwitting spies for the U.S. military. Make-A-Wish Foundation announces they will only help fully vaccinated children, video. Majority of young adults now live at home, the millennial and Gen Z housing crisis highlights a growing wealth divide. Losing the plot on COVID. Number of UK children taking antidepressants peaked in lockdown. Nike is a brand that is of China and for China, company's CEO says. Assange prosecution relied on false testimony from a diagnosed sociopath and convicted pedophile. A single bee has created an immortal army with millions of clones. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Mike Gravel, former U.S. Senator for Alaska, dies at 91. F9 Feet puts charge back into movie theaters with $70 moppening. 5 who died in New Mexico hot air balloon crash identified. Report, classified UK defense papers found at bus stop. Bipartisan infrastructure deal back on track after walkback. Families hold on to hope as condo collapse toll rises to 9. Do these photos show the effects of extreme hot weather? Bruce Springsteen marks the return of live shows on Broadway. Before building collapse, $9 million in repairs needed. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. DC prosecutors set their targets on Don Jr.'s posse. Mitt Romney snarks at Trump pushing the big lie, this is like WWF, it's not real. Family members taken to site of Miami Beach condo collapse, as official death toll rises to 9. Chris Wallace corners GOP Congressman Jim Banks, aren't you the ones defunding the police? Prince William feels despair, as well as anger over Prince Harry. Why do we believe in cults? Hint, it's not brainwashing. What makes Berlin so unique? I submitted to conversion therapy to please my mom and Jesus. Disney gets super gay, inside its first Pride concert and troublesome queer history. OMG, I want to rent that house, Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Traveler's home course delivers thrills others lack. Red Sox revel in owning the Yankees. New York attorney a brave devil's advocate, Divine. Miles McBride works out for Knicks with NBA draft stock rising. Bubba Watson's meltdown costs him shot to win Travelers Championship. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. After massive restoration, Rome's iconic arena opens up substructure under main stage. Pacific Northwest bakes under once-in-a-millennium heat dome. Massive dragon man skull found in China. Arkansas governor says final FDA approval of COVID-19 vaccine would help fight hesitancy. Gottlieb warns of very dense outbreaks in parts of U.S. as variant spreads. Gottlieb says pockets of U.S. could see very dense outbreaks as Delta variant spreads. Abandoned gas and oil wells becoming an environmental threat in the U.S. Pentagon releases report on UFOs. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Grandparents' landline keeps dialing grandson from collapsed Florida building, and there's no one there. NYC Council poised to have a majority of women members. Biden orders airstrikes in Iraq, Syria against Iran-backed militia groups. Florida building collapse, death toll rises to 9, over 150 still missing. Derek Chauvin sentence reflects seriousness of crime, Min AG Keith Ellison says. UConn pitcher Justin Willis and his family made it out of Florida building before collapse. Carolina's Lindsey Graham doesn't have a clue about fighting crime, says top Biden advisor. Negotiated infrastructure bill has bright future, say Senate Republicans. Miami Beach declares state of emergency following deadly Florida condo collapse. 2 charged after dead monkey found in hot car outside Tennessee water park. The following headlines are from military.com. US F-15, F-16 fighters strike militia groups on Iraq-Syria border in response to drone attacks. Air Force investigating after squadron commander dies in Qatar. Indian police say bomb-laden drones hit airbase in Kashmir. Thousands march in large show of Iraqi paramilitary force. Blinken, lobbied meet in Rome amid reset US-Israel relations. Air Force cadet 1 of 2 killed in small plane crash in Texas. It's always a long game, inside Kirsten Gillibrand's campaign to overhaul military justice. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. 2 adults and child killed in metro crash on far south side. Family of mail carrier who was pregnant when she disappeared renews call for help from police and potential witnesses. Pride Without Prejudice marches in Chicago to protest racism, violence against LGBTQ community. No bail for man accused in deadly daylight stabbing outside Northwest Side fast food restaurant. People participate in the Pride Without Prejudice march in Chicago. Preschoolers attend Little Scholars Learning Center in Chicago. Cops creator John Langley dies during road race in Mexico. Gunfire at St. Charles nightclub leaves 1 dead, 3 hurt, police said. Teen charged in fatal shooting of girl, 14, in Back of the Yards neighborhood. Chicago area gets brief chance to dry out after severe storm swept through the area again. The following headlines are from phys.org. World's smallest hog released into wild in India by conservationists. Portland records hottest day ever amid Northwest scorcher. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Monday, June 28th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Middleton's 38 power Bucks past Hawks 113-102 for 2-1 lead. 18-year-old Pepe scores twice, FC Dallas beat Revs 2-1. Stuver, defense help Austin FC 2-0-0 tie with Crew. Salt Lake 4-star DL Ben Roberts announces verbal commitment to UW Huskies. What the Delvin Lammer trio want to do this summer. As city grapples with extreme heat, homeless Seattleites face dangerous conditions. Cruz Pedregon races to his first funny car win since 2018. What Woody Sticks wants to do this summer. Kershaw's 13 Ks, McKinstry slam lifts Dodgers past Cubs 7-1. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. SUV, truck critics are pathetic crybabies, roadshow. Antioch teen arrested as weekend shooting suspect. UC Berkeley among campuses to allow for more in-state admissions. Sideshow spectators could be ticketed, roadshow. Photos, search continues for victims of condo collapse in Florida. Man shot at West Oakland homeless camp dies. Bay Bridge Series, Cole Irvin joins exclusive club, leads A's to comfortable win to prevent sweep. Giants cannot solve Irvin and fall to A's in third game of Bay Bridge series. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. July 4th fireworks shows threatened by drought. U.S. airstrikes hit Iran-backed militias in Iraq, Syria. Inside the Beltway, Trump epic continues. New book, Barr believed Trump's claims of election fraud, rigged voting machines were bull. Stolen election key among supporters at first major Trump rally in Ohio. Joe Manchin pitches $1.5 trillion in social spending, Trump tax cuts repealed to secure infrastructure deal. Pakistani diplomat, Biden administration delusional to think Taliban has broken ties with Al-Qaeda. Senator Rob Portman, Trump definitely the leader of the GOP. Surfside mayor, we are going to keep going until everybody is out. Not fun, Northwest heat wave builds, all-time records fall. The next headlines are from The Intercept. How Trump bully Michael Flynn nurtured and profited from the QAnon conspiracy theory. Governor Ron DeSantis wants to defund Florida universities that teach anti-racism. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Monday, June 28, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Males help keep populations genetically healthy. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Adbert Alzolay has second inning to forget as Cubs lose to the Dodgers. Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Jasmine Sullivan win at BET Awards. One child, two adults killed after Metro train strikes vehicle on far south side. BET Awards fashions, here's a look at the red carpet arrivals. Sunday at Guaranteed Rate Field, a brew hit, Cuchel Grit and Sox split. Chris Bryant leads National League third baseman in ASG votes, named finalist for starter. Cold shooting skyfall at Connecticut. Dealing, reeling, healing, Fergie Jenkins doc a portrait of greatness on field, agony of it. An RX for downtown, more housing for working folks and an improved Pritzker Park. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Monday, June 28, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are about world records making news. Belfast runner Emma McKee, 12, breaks world age group 5 km record a second time, Belfast Telegraph. Super strong Scots mom breaks world record for flipping huge tire 221 times in an hour, the Scottish Sun. Pilot trying to break world record for youngest around the world, stops in Tampa, WFLA. Magdalena Silic to land from Poland new CMAS free diving world record dynamic with monofin, sportalsub.net. COVID-19, Toronto Vaccine Day Clinic on track to set world record, officials say, Global News. Students in Abu Dhabi break record for world's largest gold medal, Esquire Me. Breaking records for support, Business Wire. World record slip and slide attempts at Thursday at Canaan Valley, WCBC Radio. Cristiano Ronaldo on cusp of history during Euro 2020 clash versus Belgium, India.com. MV Augusta sets new world record, Karen bike. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Apple wants you to keep this long list of products away from your medical devices. A year later, Telegram finally launches the group video calls it promised. Venmo will start letting you sell stuff through your personal account, for a price. Volkswagen will say goodbye to the combustion vehicle business in Europe by 2035. Fast and Furious 9 hits big at the weekend box office. Halo showrunner Stephen Kane to exit when post-production is complete. Historic heat wave sets record highs across West Coast and Canada, and it's still getting hotter, updated. Quentin Tarantino wants to remind you he's still quitting the business. Loki's Tara Strong discusses the audition process for Miss Minutes. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Jarrah in Kuwait at 126.5 degrees Fahrenheit or 52.5 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 108.04 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 77.8 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. Google launches a new medical app outside the United States. The following headlines are from Raw Story. Unemployment wasn't keeping people from work as Republicans claimed. Data shows something else could be happening. Toyota draws backlash for supporting GOP insurrectionists, so Toyota doesn't believe in democracy. Got it. Police deploy pepper spray on New York City Pride Parade, attendees say. Capitol rioter who wore ankle monitor to the attack to appear in court Monday. Republican congressman cannot understand why Trump supporters went to worship a loser at Ohio rally. Trump org attorneys have a major Monday deadline to convince prosecutors not to file charges, report. Bombshell bar interview reveals Trump had criminal intent in election lies, ex-prosecutor. Former Trump Organization executive agrees Trump probably deserves to go to jail after what I've observed over 20 years. Catholic support for Bishop's war against Joe Biden plummets, columnist. Trump supporters flock to take photos with man they swear is JFK Jr., who died in 1999. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Simone Biles cannot stop, won't stop. A parade of Trump loyalists are having second thoughts. Why the Northwest's heat dome is so dangerous. A powerful and personal tale of the kissing bug and its deadly cargo. The following items are today's top search results for the term neural plasticity. Why parents should find and develop children's talents early, The Standard. Neil McKay's Big Read, The Dawn of Transhumanism, Conversations with Dr. David Eagleman, the scientist creating a world of real superhumans in his laboratory, Hair American League Division Series Scotland. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Monday, June 28, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Reactions to the UAPTF report by UFO researchers is baffling. The Pentagon UFO report June 25, 2021. The first preliminary UFO report 74 years ago, oh the similarities. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Monday, June 28, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News i8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News i8. All rights reserved.